Hey everybody, JP Hunt from GraphicsFlow, and in this sneak peek video we want to show you an exciting new technology coming to GraphicsFlow. Now, this is something that we call the GraphicsFlow Art Portal. Now before I show you this new technology and the workflow, I want to explain the challenges and the industry problems that we set out to solve that led to this technology. So many print shops and promotional product distributors spend so much time trying to capture a customer's idea of what a successful design will look like. So being on the creative hot seat and guessing and going back and forth with graphic designers trying to get the design just right, it just cannibalizes tons of time. It creates tremendous friction in the sales process, and it's really just not a good customer buying experience. So what we wanted to do was to solve for that challenge. We wanted to make it fun and easy and interactive to allow your customers and your prospective customers to select and browse and be involved in the design process to spare everybody the grief that's ordinarily involved in that creative and design process. So without further ado, let's get into the GraphicsFlow Art Portal. So really what this is a public art catalog that your clients can search, and they can filter by style, by subject matter. So really it's about finding the right design concepts, whether it be a design idea, clip art assets, and even fonts, to let your clients tell you exactly what it is that they want as part of their campaign or for their organization or event or needs. So with that said, it's taking all of the amazing art content that comes in GraphicsFlow and it's extending it and making it available for your customers and prospects to browse and interact with. Now there's two ways that you can make this art content available to your customers. Number one is we're providing a micro website. And here's an example of that website on screen in this clickable prototype, which I'll take you through the workflow in a moment's time. So of course, this will be branded to you with your company identity at the top left. You can control the links. You can add custom navigation. So this is a great way to promote maybe your primary business website, or maybe use the Inksoft Online Designer and you want to drive your prospects and customers to potentially just designing online and purchasing online. So really custom links to control navigation. There's a Contact Us form, and of course when your clients submit the Contact Us form, you'll be notified of those. But principally the main feature function here is the ability for clients to, again, search and browse by category and drill down by style. So in this case, let's say your customer has needs for maybe a summer camp. They can go and find the concepts that they love, that they want to see reflected on their branded merchandise without you having to guess or waste time creating concepts. You can directly involve them in that decision-making process. So we kind of take you through the workflow here. It's really simple. After searching or browsing by category or style, when your customers click on a design concept, here they'll have the ability to add notes. So here they can describe sort of the personalization or customization or changes they want to see reflected in the design that they've selected. So it's a great way for them to directly say, love this concept, but can you change the colors and use X, Y, and Z? They can communicate clearly what it is that they want. And then they can add that item to their design request. So let me kind of explain what a design request is. After searching and selecting and notating all the different designs that excite your customers and prospects, here they have the ability to see sort of that design request that they've assembled. And again, this design request could be design ideas, it could be individual clip art elements, and it can even be fonts. So here I can delete or remove an item that I've added to my design request. I can edit the notes. So when I'm done sort of curating all of the cool designs that I think would work well for my needs, I can then submit a design request. So I'm gonna go ahead and click the Submit Design Request button, and here I have a final summary of all of those cool designs, clip art, and fonts that I've added and curated, and here I'm just gonna add my contact information. And so think of this as sort of a design lead. Your clients are, or maybe it's a prospect, right? They happen upon your website, they find this design portal, this art portal, and they've chosen the concepts they love. So when they submit, you're gonna immediately get a lead. You'll be notified by email, and I'll show you a workspace that will contain all of these submitted design requests. So there's sort of a few different use cases here. Number one, to get leads. Lead generation is important for every business, no matter what size. The second main workflow here and use case is to allow your clients to interact and participate in the design selection experience so they can communicate what it is that they want, and you can take that as a handoff point to make modifications and adjustments, to put and organize all those final adjustments back into an art approval to get final confirmation. And of course, until you get art approval, it's hard to move on in the sales process. You can't create a quote or an invoice, you can't get paid, and you certainly can't move on to scheduling and production until we get artwork confirmed. So what we're trying to do is help accelerate the sales process by checking off the design, sort of checklist item involved in the ordering process. So once I'm, fill out my contact information and I formally submit that, I, as the consumer, will get an email confirmation. You and your team on the print shop side will also get an email notification. But I want to point out that we've built a brand new workspace in GraphicsFlow called Design Requests. And here, this will be a warehouse for all of the leads and all of the design requests that you receive from either the micro website that we will provide to you or from the embedded version of the Art Portal. So a number of things that you can do here in terms of managing design requests. Of course, you can filter between open design requests and maybe those that are archived. So you can always go back in time. No need to permanently delete to call up maybe information from an older design request. You can also see basic information here in terms of contact information, the days when the sort of design request was submitted. But once you click onto a design request, you have some key information here. You can create an art approval and sort of convert the design request directly into an art approval to begin to edit and modify and really start to develop a final art approval to send back to your customer. You can also download all of the art that was submitted in case you need to directly access that art content and begin to edit and modify it per your customer's art notes. So a great way to immediately leverage and access all of that great art content without having to browse for it and download it individually. Although you have the option from this workspace to download files individually. You can also choose to archive. So once you've resolved the design request and you've converted it to an art approval and you're already sort of moving forward in the sales cycle, you can archive this to sort of indicate that you've already taken action on this design request. Now, importantly, you can also add internal notes. This is a great way for you to begin communicating with your team and team members about any moving parts or actions that's been taken with this design request. So in summary, the main goal with the GraphicsFlow Art Portal was to solve one of the industry's longest standing problems, which is just endless back and forth communication, trying to pin down and get final agreement and sort of making sure that you can get final art approvals with your customers. So it's really shaving the time that's involved. So time savings is good for everybody, sort of a win-win. You're reducing friction and frustration and communication points. So you're creating a positive buying experience with you and your customers. And really, you're accelerating the sales process because the sooner you can get to a final art approval is the sooner that you can get to an invoice state, which means you're sooner to get paid and you're sooner to move on to production. So over the course of a year, when you can shave off days and potentially weeks, on average, that really adds up to a tremendous amount of time savings and efficiencies. So stay tuned for more information about the GraphicsFlow Art Portal. Right before we release this, we'll do some training to make sure you're ready to take full advantage of this technology. And we'll give you, of course, notifications about when it becomes available. And we're shooting to make this available before year end. And that's going to allow you to go into the new year with a powerful new sales and productivity tool from GraphicsFlow.